We have a bit of a habit in modern society that we don't really like to admit. We don't like to listen to what people are saying. We judge how it's packaged first. If it's calm, structured, polished, it gets a seat at the table. If it's messy, emotional, or frustrated, we tend to treat it like noise, like it automatically lost credibility the moment it raised its voice. Which is ironic because some of the most important ideas in history would not survive that filter for more than 5 seconds today. Take someone like Albert Einstein. Imagine if his early thinking had to pass modern presentation standards. Sorry, Albert, your theory of relativity is interesting, but could you please format it into a 5-paragraph essay with a clear emotional tone and less confusion? You never even get to E equals MC squared. We'd be stuck reviewing his communication style instead of the idea that literally reshaped physics. And that's the problem. We confuse clarity of expression with clarity of thought. But those two things are not the same. Some minds are precise but messy in delivery. Some ideas arrive emotionally charged because they're being formed under pressure, frustration, or urgency. And instead of asking, why is this person speaking this way, we often jump straight to, therefore, I can ignore them. It's almost like we've built a system where calmness equals truth and emotion equals error, which would be convenient if humans were actually that simple. Because anger, frustration, even bitterness, those aren't just bad tone. They are signals. They usually point to something that wasn't addressed earlier when it was quieter. But we prefer the quieter version. Easier to dismiss, less uncomfortable. So what happens? People raise their voice after being ignored too long. And then they get dismissed for raising their voice. It's a perfect loop of selective listening. And this doesn't just affect individuals, it affects ideas. Entire perspectives can be thrown out, not because they're wrong, but because they didn't arrive in the right format. No neat structure, no polished framing, no emotional moderation setting turned on. Just raw meaning, trying to get through. Meanwhile, we congratulate ourselves for being rational while sometimes just filtering out anything that doesn't behave politely enough to be heard. The real skill isn't preferring calm over anger. The real skill is asking, what is this emotion pointing to? What's underneath it? What problem kept being ignored long enough that it finally had to show up like this? Because if we only accept ideas when they're comfortable, we don't actually select for truth. We select for presentation. And history is not exactly kind to people who confuse those two things, so maybe the point isn't to make every message neat. Maybe the point is to get better at recognizing meaning even when it shows up unpolished, inconvenient, or emotionally charged. Sometimes what looks